All right, this is Peter at the Vertical Farm. I thought for today I'd talk about why Ann and I decided to even start doing YouTube, since it's small and in the scheme of things relatively inconsequential. But I suppose we started this YouTube channel for about 3 different reasons. I'll just talk about each one of them, maybe in ascending order. The first one is to show to prospective farming partners and customers. It's easy to talk about doing regenerative farming, and it's difficult to reach out and show people what you're doing and reach out and gain a larger customer base as well. This summer, as I've been talking to local farmers, I often get blank looks when I try to explain how we do things and the why behind it, and why it's effective. And part of that is you have to be careful not to insult someone who's been doing something a certain way. And in some cases, the families around here have been here since before or right at when Minnesota became a state instead of a territory. Very old area. So you don't want to insult the men and women who have been working this land and working hard and caring for it in their own way, by implying that what they're doing is less than or anything of the sort. So it's helpful to illustrate, using these videos, the quality of our animals and the benefits of the management intensive grazing, and to our quality of life, frankly. And then also, when we are trying to reach a wider customer base, I assume as early as next year we're going to be making decisions about, are we going to be able to sell everything private sale, or are we going to have to send our overflow into an auction barn somewhere, for feeder lambs. And so if we can reach a wider audience and show them that we have something to offer them, that would be beneficial as well. So that's probably the least most important one to Ann and I. The second most important to us is, I have nieces and nephews who live primarily in big cities and far away, and I rarely get to see them because we're all busy with our lives. And I think I have a nephew and nieces that live in LA, and they came out here this summer, and just to watch their faces as they got to whiz up and down this big hill on a four-wheeler and see the animals and get close and run around and realize that within our fences they could do anything they wanted, was really cool. And so that was actually one of the main impetuses for me to start doing this, because frankly, I'm not super comfortable naturally sharing my life with people. And it's good. But yeah, and then my kids live in town half the time, and they have the opportunity, if they are missing the farm, to turn on YouTube and see what's going on with their sheep. Like my daughter has some sheep, they're out right there, and it's just an opportunity to share with my family who isn't able to come around frequently, and that's important to me. It's a wonderful technology availability that we have here in the 21st century, that it's not writing letters or talking over the phone. It's hop on YouTube and see what life is like here at our farm. Aren't the trees, just look at these trees, every little color you could ask for. I think this is great. I have some fallen down trees right up there, and some down here that they're dead, and so I'm going to come up here once the animals are out of this field and chop them up for firewood. And I think for me that, and I think for Ann as well, but the most important reason I want to do this is, the first year or so we were here, I was so busy trying to transform this place that I didn't take any pictures. And all I have is what's in my mind's eye for what this place looked like. You see this green field down here. This was the most rotten, field full of dead, rotting grass and brambles and raspberries and thistles and every little thing you wouldn't want. And it was full of fallen down fence. And just to be able to go back and see, you know, I built that corral, and I'm slowly thinning the trees so the other trees can be healthy. And I wish I had done a better job documenting our journey at our property. With this, you know, even if YouTube for whatever reason goes down, we have our videos saved, and we can come back and look at what was when we were young, you know, when we're old, and to show the children and whoever takes over our farm, you know, where it was and what it came from. So, you know, this flock of sheep started with one, and then I bought 2 more, and then I bred this out. And you know, we have a few pictures of when we had Highlands out here, and we got rid of them, and we kind of changed our path. And it would have been, I wish I had been documenting better through pictures or whatever, the beginning of the journey. So I figure, well, if you regret something, you start fixing it as soon as you can. So so to that end, Ann and I have talked, and we've committed that, you know, even if this thing becomes popular, which we're not anticipating, we're not going to turn on ad revenue. That's not the purpose. You know, we can use it as a tool to reach a wider marketing audience, and we'd be satisfied with that. And I know that, you know, I've learned a lot from my own experience and from other people teaching, and so hopefully somebody can use these as I talk through different things that we're doing, as a way to get started themselves. But that's kind of what's been on my mind. Other than that, we have our first hard frost coming up on Friday. It's October the 3rd. We had 1 frost, but it was like a barely frost, and it didn't really stop the grass. And you can see the legumes are still doing fine. But we have a hard frost coming in on Friday, and today's Wednesday, and that'll get us down into the 20s overnight, and that should shut down the growth, I think, at least for a while. And we're heading into the middle section of fall, and then on to winter. So yep. So not other than that, it's a pretty normal day, and just enjoying my half an hour out here, just kind of looking over each animal, you know, kind of saying, first of all, are they all here? Yeah, they are. How are they looking? Do any of them look limpy or low energy or poor? I've fallen prey to the mistake of just whizzing by, knowing I have a million things to do, and not stopping and, you know, intentionally checking every single animal and making sure they're right. But yeah, you can see, I just want to point out the difference. Look at over here, they grazed this last week, and they grazed all this week, and look at the difference we have heading down the hill. So this should give us, I don't know, 1, 2, 3 or 4 more days of grazing, maybe 4, and then we will head around the corner into the field behind these trees, and then there's a section of woods that I want them to kind of chew through, and then we start our rotation back on the opposite side of the farm. And then once that happens, the boys are on the far end of our property this way. We're going to bring them forward to graze this bottom field down here. So that's the plan, and we'll keep things rolling, and hope you all enjoy it. Thanks.